Charlotta Bass, overlooked vice presidential candidate. Before Kamala Harris, there was Charlotta Bass. Charlotta Bass was the first black woman to run for vice president. She was also a pioneering journalist. Bass started making history long before she ran for office. The activist turned politician was born in South Carolina in 1874. She later moved to the West Coast, where she became one of the first African American women to own and operate a newspaper. She was editor and publisher of the West Coast's oldest black newspaper, the California Eagle. She was likely the first African American woman to own and operate a newspaper in the United States. Bass drew attention to police violence against African Americans, calling it out in front-page headlines and organizing community meetings to demand police reforms. Bass was a staunch advocate for civil liberties, women's rights, and immigration. She championed local black-owned businesses. Because of her civil rights work, her life was threatened numerous times. The FBI placed her under surveillance, and she was labeled a communist. Despite this, she prevailed. By the 1930s, the California Eagle was the largest African American paper on the West Coast. It stood on solid financial grounds, had a circulation of nearly 60,000, and took on important editorial stands. She was a firm believer in don't spend where you can't work. In the 1940s, she helped win victories against housing segregation in Los Angeles. Bass helped start the Homeowners Protective Association in 1945 and challenged housing covenants in the courts. She took on the Ku Klux Klan, detailing their crimes in print. In 1925, she published a letter by the head of California's Klan that exposed a plot to frame local black leaders. The Klan sued Bass for libel. She faced up to 1 year in prison and damages of $5,000, but she won in the courtroom. Following her retirement from the California Eagle, Bass devoted her life to politics. She plunged headfirst into social issues in racist, redlined Los Angeles. She soon became known as a person who could get things done, often with little regard for her personal safety. In 1952, Charlotta Bass became the first African American woman to run for national office as the vice presidential candidate for the Progressive Party. She would accept the nomination before 2,000 delegates in an auditorium in Chicago. When Bass spoke that day, the Voting Rights Act would not exist for another decade. It would be another 2 years before school segregation would be ruled unconstitutional. She had no dreams of winning, but she campaigned with the slogan, "Win or lose, we win by raising the issues." She worked to improve the conditions of black people through a multitude of civil rights, such as housing rights, labor rights, voting rights, and police brutality. Bass was the first African American woman to be a jury member in the Los Angeles County Court. Until next time, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Press the bell to be notified of future uploads. Thank you for watching.